behind the lock.
I'm here to collect Mr. Hawthorne's rent! Shut that squealing! Or I can stop and squeal now! Christ almighty! Johnny Fletcher busted into a farmhouse on his property.
You bring me back that stuff to false.
Well, well, look at what we have here. Please don't kill me.
Gentleman John Fletcher! Damn it!
Johnny Fletcher! Don't make me chase you!
I didn't kill nobody. I didn't murder that family.
That don't break me down to me. You're a bounty hunter. You're a wanted man. Here.
Out of the night that covers me, black is the pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeoning of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade. And yet the menace of the years finds, and shall find me, unafraid. It matters not how straight the gates, how charged the punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
Stand down and no one has to die today.
This only ends one way.
They'll kill you all.
Why not take your chances in a prison cell?
Alright, I'm coming out.
My lord, I have a report.
Speak.
Our latest assassination attempt on Lady Nocturne has failed.
I can see stronger measures are needed. Begin phase 2.
Captured! The notorious Lady Nocturne has been brought in through the valiant efforts of the Void Cobras.
Get on the damn person.
Prisoner, take 5 steps, then stop and turn to your right.
But the pirates of Velix Mortis are far from defeated.
My lord, I have a report.
Let's cut to the chase, since we both know that this isn't a social call and you didn't come here to waste time.
Fine. High Command is gambling that the attempt on your life by your so-called friends has made you willing to cooperate. Am I wasting my time now?
What fate will befall the disgraced former pirate?
The Minotaur sends his regards, traitor.
What does your High Command want, and what are they offering in return?
High Command wants many things, but it wants to show a good faith first.
Go.
up. Bravo 2, give us support.
What next for now infamous mercenaries, the Void Cobras?
I want every last pirate I used to run with dead. I don't want to be watching over my shoulder every hour of every day.
Now you die!
Will the Void Cobras become targets of Lady Nocturne's former pirate comrades?
Attention, crash override. This is Freighter Ebony Hawk. My ship just lost all power and thrust. We're going down. Mayday, mayday, mayday.
There truly is no honor among thieves. You rabble will turn on each other at the slightest provocation.
Okay, 5, moving past you.
Find out on the next episode of Star Citizen Nocturne.
Jameson, you copy?
Touch me now, I don't want to live without you. Nothing's gonna change my love for you.
Jameson, we require immediate emergency extract.
I don't know, man. It looks kind of hot over there.
Of interest in my life to AIDS.
Okay, got it working, Sarge.
Alright, Corporal. Good work. Follow me! Y'all remember what Sarge said? Stay together, keep comms clear, and heads on the swivel. Clear. Okay, we're gonna secure it, then sweep the entire ship for survivors. Channel, you take point. Doc, you're behind me. Corporal, you're bringing up the rear.
Understood, Sergeant.
Taking track. Oh shit, I just saw something.
God, oh my God!
Get the hell out of here!
Get him off me, get him off me, get him off me! They're getting in my armor! Ah!
I got into collecting bounties when a gang of bandits bushwhacked my wife, my best friend Coyote, and me. Meet the Jones brothers.
To take a look at the situation in which you find yourself.
That's Joshua.
It's gonna end real bad.
What's the Indian word for
Next to him is Rufus the Doofus.
Heck, I don't know. You're just trying to make me look dumb.
All right, I want to
Next
see
to
rifles
him is
on the
Lyman.
ground.
Remember those faces.
And 6.
You'll see him again.
8 hands praising Jesus.
The other ones, well, ain't no use in introducing. They're all dead.
Run!
Obadiah, get the saddlebags!
I got him!
I later discovered the Jones brothers were all wanted men. Figured I might as well get paid for taking my revenge.
Man, we still wanted for justice. The post is still on the wall?
So I hunted down the ones we didn't kill. Lyman, he sang like a bird. Rufus and Joshua were smuggling contraband down the river. Always to the same spot. I found a nice perch on a bluff above the river where I knew they would eventually be. During the war, I was a sharpshooter. Coyote's Whitworth came in handy. For weeks, I tracked them. Then I killed them.
here and scan it. You can use it.
If you like our content, we'd appreciate if you'd like, subscribe, and get notifications. Help us extend our reach by sharing our video content. And if you want to help us beat the algorithm, also leave us a comment on some of our videos.
What is up, fam of Liberty? Can everybody hear me? Is my mic working properly this time?
I mean, this time it is.
All right, good to go. All right, so let me mute myself.
So far.
There we go. So we have a returning guest. We have Richard Ojeda, U.S. Army Major, retired. I always get that order of things mixed up. So could you explain to me what the proper sequence of the title is, since I never retired?
I just say Major Retired Richard Ojeda.
There we go. And it's been such a long time since we saw you. In like, what, 2 weeks?
Well, let me tell you, I really enjoyed being on your show. When I was on your show, I absolutely enjoyed the conversation, and yeah, man, I think it's awesome. I'm glad that you brought me back on here. Just want to let everybody know that yesterday I officially launched my Ojeda for Congress campaign in North Carolina's 9th district, and I'm telling you, it's things are going really well. We're going on, we're already going nonstop, you know, but. That's my plan. I look at this like it's a deployment, man. You know, you get off the plane, you go nonstop until it's time to get back on the plane. So that's what I'm doing. If I have to sleep under bridges, that's what I got to do.
Loving it. I don't think it'll come to that. Well, the way things are going, I don't know.
I mean, just in terms of, like, you know, when I was running in West Virginia, I had 18 counties. So because of the population and how it's so spread out. So here, I have 4 full counties and 3 half counties. To me, I look at that and go, that's way smaller than what I had when I was in West Virginia. So, you know, I feel very comfortable. I'm going to get to every single place. I'm going to shake every hand. I'm going to get to know everybody, and I'm going to work my butt off, and I'm going to flip a seat from red to blue.
What can we do to help with that?
You know, I mean, ultimately, it's just like this, letting me come on here and have a conversation. You know, I sent you my donation link. You know, it takes a lot of money to run a campaign, especially a congressional campaign. I raised $3 million in West Virginia and actually lost the race. So, you know, it's one of those things. It sucks that you have to ask people for money, but you know, I got staff, I got all kinds of stuff. But, you know, I'm telling you, I feel really good about this. I think that, you know, ever since Donald Trump has taken office, about 30 days later, I mean, literally the world is on fire. We have Republican town halls where they're ripping the Republicans a new one, and those Republicans aren't surviving this. You know, I mean, you know, that one guy was like, you know, you co-sponsored a bill that's going to try to disenfranchise 70 million women out of their votes. And then what do you say when they finally let you have it? You say, but we ended birthright citizenship. And he thought that was going to be like, hey, and they lit him up. You know, that's what happened. You know, let me tell you something. Not one person in this country voted for Elon Musk. And let me tell you this, you know, this is, you know, Sons of Liberty, you know, you are a veteran, and people that follow you are veterans. They have fired almost 6,000 people from the Veterans Administration. So that right there is unacceptable. You know, they fired, the first firing was 1,000 people that were doctors, nurses, physicians, pharmacists, and then they fired all of the probationary workers, which is unacceptable. And now they've come back. They fired almost 6,000 people from the Veterans Administration. That's not what right looks like. They're taking away our capabilities to be able to get appointments and have our health care taken care of in a timely manner. And they're doing it for what? Elon Musk is slashing this stuff, and Donald Trump is allowing him to do so. So they're all guilty about this. And when we go to that point where we get to that point of no return, where it's time to take it to the streets, they're not going to like it. They're not going to like it.
I'm glad you mentioned take it to the streets. I want to talk about that in a second, but I also want to point out that Elon White Power and his 7 dorks have essentially gained access to every veteran's medical records, their personnel records, their personal information, to include what kind of benefits they're receiving, and cutting VA staff, not to mention the suicide hotline, which if I remember correctly, you enlisted first, right?
Yes.
Before you became an officer. When did you raise your hand at the MEP station?
1989.
Okay. So from 1989 to when I enlisted, which was 1994, we had virtually no conversations about PTSD other than that first sergeant's combat patch, when he was like a private in 25th Infantry Division in Hawaii. Yeah, don't go to the field with him because he has nightmares.
Yes.
From 1994 to about 2003, 2004, we had pretty much fuck all conversations about PTSD. And after 9/11, when we started getting involved in combat, I don't know what your experience was, but mine, when we got back to the rear, it was like, shut your mouth, go to the motor pool, do your fucking job. If you want to drink, don't do it on duty. Don't be drunk at formation. And if you are, then hope to God first sergeant to you.
I lost an uncle to suicide who had fought in Vietnam. So,
right.
And where I grew up in Pamplico, South Carolina, whenever you would hear of an older white dude having committed suicide, you'd say, oh, well, he had a rough war in Vietnam. So I fucking hate that they cut the suicide hotline. And I just wanted to interrupt and say that.
Well, that's really great that you said that. But here's the thing. I mean, what part of helping veterans goes with killing the people that run the suicide hotline? I mean, if you want to reduce the number of suicides from 22 to 0, you don't get rid of the people that work the hotline. I mean, this is going to take it from 22 up to 35 or more. What they're doing is unacceptable. And I really honestly think that I'm waiting for a class action lawsuit that we get to sign on. Because make no mistake about it, those jackaloons that daggone Elon Musk has that are, going over our records, they're seeing things that we absolutely do not want to be seen. And that right there deserves to be a case against them, a class action lawsuit. So,
and the cold calculus of it is they don't see veteran suicides as a minus. They see it as one less taker drawn from the public funds.
Yeah,
they want this.
Care. They don't care about us. They've never cared about
Eugenics.
us. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but do you know that Elon Musk was a draft dodger?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he fled. He left South Africa when he was 17 years old because they were getting ready to, do the conscripts, and he left to avoid that. So no wonder him and Donald Trump get along so well. They're both cowards.
That's the reason Donald Trump's grandfather, Vicky the history buff, I did some research on this. Donald Trump's, and I'm using my crochet hook to point, so I'm sorry about that. Donald Trump's grandfather left Germany because he was also dodging the draft. So it's a hereditary trait.
Yeah, it's all hereditary. But I mean, but like what you was talking about, I mean, hell, PTSD, I mean, everybody swallowed it for the most part, when we started coming back from combat zones, everybody just swallowed it. When you had issues, if we had soldiers that had issues, I mean, we did everything we could, but I mean, I don't know, man, it was like, it wasn't until I retired. And I will be honest with you, I had some tough times. Haiti hurt me. When we responded to the earthquake in Haiti, I mean, I can justify death. In combat, hey, it was us and them, and they were trying to hurt us, so we hurt them first. That I can justify. I couldn't justify the death that we saw in Haiti, when you saw entire schools that collapsed and every child inside was killed, you know. And I mean, we were down there, man. We were down there when it was, we got to get these bodies in the ground before, I mean, dogs were running around eating on the dead, and there were parking lots that had just nothing but stacks of bodies. And I mean, it was brutal. But I mean, it's, you know, people don't understand, man, you know, that you see that stuff on a daily basis, it will hit you. And what they're doing to our Veterans Administration is turning their back on the soldier. You know, we went to combat for 20 straight years, and they told us, have no fear. When you come home, we're going to fix you. We're going to take care of you. And now what Donald Trump and his minions are doing is they're taking that away. And that right there is something that we shouldn't allow. And let me tell you something. The veterans are the one group that knows how to friggin' fight. And if they continue to push us to that breaking point, they're not going to like what happens. And I don't care to say what I believe will happen. And that means if we take it to the damn streets, if you daggone take away our capabilities, you go after, you get rid of our disability, you know, you better get ready. We draw our retirement because we spent 24 years. I spent 24 years in the military. I draw my disability because your ass sent me to combat zones multiple times, exposed me to everything. I breathed them burning bodies. I've seen death. I've seen, you name it. And now you want to daggone take that capability away from us? Make no mistake about it. You are poking the fucking bear.
Get him.
Some of the things that it really strikes me that they try to pivot away, that you don't need it, that it's like it's a luxury. It's not even, you know, something that you've earned as a basic piece of treatment. They bill it as being this luxury that all veterans are greedy for. You know, I've got a friend of mine, I'm not going to name him, former Green Beret, who probably saw some truly awful things that he is never basically allowed to talk about, and went through some shit and had some serious medical injuries. And I think about him and the disability benefits that he draws, and how can you ever say to him, you don't deserve this? How can some, especially from two draft dodgers who have absolutely no idea what sacrifice is like, or having to make a tough decision in their lives, and they're going to say that everyone who served this country is unworthy? That blows my mind.
And that's why veterans need to be making their voices heard. You know, coming on places like this, you know, this is a phenomenal show, and you guys have a great reach. You know, I mean, it's important. People have to understand, you know, you sent us to combat and you broke us. It's your responsibility to take care of us when we come home. And I don't want to hear that we don't deserve our disability. You know, we saw them posting articles saying, oh, veterans are getting fat. No, we're not. No, we deserve everything we get and then some. And make no mistake about it. You know, our disability, now they're saying that, well, if you draw disability, then we're not going to let you have Social Security. Look, if you don't want to give me my Social Security, you write me a check for every penny I paid into Social Security. If you don't do that, you need to shut the hell up. I deserve everything that I've worked my ass for. I deserve my retirement, my disability, and my Social Security. And I'm going to fight for it.
They're planting those articles. They are trying to seed the idea in the public consciousness that somehow those who have served this country are just greedy and taking advantage.
They want the people to start resenting the veteran.
Right.
They're saying, well, do you have disability? They do. But once again, you know, you're the ones that promised us when you sent us to combat. And, you know, I'll tell you right now, you know, being away from your family, your wife and your kids, or your husband, if you're a woman, is tough already. But when you're actually out there conducting operations on a daily basis, let me tell you something. You get worn down. Even if you're not even getting into conflicts, you know, but if you're just doing your daily mission every single day over and over, you get worn down, you know, and I mean, it's tough. And we have to be willing to stand up for veterans. And that's one of the things that I'm more than happy to do. I mean, you send me to Washington, D.C. Let me watch somebody try to push legislation that's trying to go after our benefits. I will absolutely they will hate my friggin' guts.
That's
so
what we need.
When you talk about sending you to D.C., what about on, say, March 14th?
Here's the thing. The only issue with me is I got to look at my calendar, because right now, since I have announced, my calendar is filling up like crazy. I've got meetings after meetings like you wouldn't believe. But here's the thing. You want to know why I have announced? I mean, we're talking 2 years out. The reason why I announced is because I am committed to making sure I go to every single place in my district. I knock on every single door. I meet every single person. You know, right now I'm going around and I'm meeting, like I met with the Young Democrats of Moore County. I believe it was yesterday. 2 days ago, I was at an SEC meeting in North Carolina with all the Democrats. I mean, you know, I'm just trying my best to get to as many places as possible. I'm going on all kinds of different podcasts. I'll be on the Tennessee Brando. I'll be with him on the 1st. This is my second time with Sons of Liberty. And I tell you right now, I enjoyed being on this podcast. But make no mistake about it, I have no problems jumping in my car. And as a matter of fact, aren't you from North Carolina?
Oh, I mean, it's the other one.
Are you from?
Well, if you want to call me out like that, yeah.
Are you from North Carolina?
Yeah, I live right down the road from you.
Okay, well, you know what? I'll tell you right now, it won't bother me. Either you can drive or I can drive. But if we can make it, we can go.
There you go.
I don't have a
I'm
problem
down
with
to
that.
road trip.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
I'm from down in South Carolina, and I think a few of us on this podcast are a little bit southern.
Yeah, I got people in Washington, D.C. on my team right now. So, you know, it's like I'm going to go visit my guys.
Just take a camera and film it. It'll be a great buddy film.
You need somebody to yell and be like,
buddy
"Get off my
film."
grass."
I think we can work with that.
Yeah.
Oh, Asia's here.
I've been here.
Everybody's
been here.
Everybody meet Admin Asia. She's one of our Discord people.
Hi, Asia.
Who's joining us for the live stream tonight.
Yeah.
That's right. Represent.
Conscripted up to the big leagues.
Yeah, with like 2 hours to spare.
You say you're going to be on Tennessee Brando, is that right?
Yeah.
We're trying to get in touch with that guy. Tell him I said what's up.
I will. March the 1st at 7:00, I believe. I'm going to be on his show.
March the 1st. All right. I'll have to tune in for that. I don't normally watch other political videos or live streams, primarily because I don't want to like see something on there and be like, that's a good idea, I should talk about that. And then somebody's like, Big Sarge was ripping off Major Ojeda or something like that.
No, you know what, man?
You know it'll happen.
Let me tell you, regardless of anybody,
they know you do.
regardless of anybody saying anything like that, you know, what you got to understand is that, you know what you're doing is you're also bringing that topic to people that didn't listen to me. And that's why it's important. Right. So it doesn't bother me at all. At one bit. I mean, you know, we are right now, our country is being taken from us. Our democracy is being taken from us. We have a constitutional crisis, and we've got people that are running this country that have never read the Constitution. We have billionaires that are being placed in positions. And if you think for 1 second that the billionaires are going to fix a system that has allowed them to become billionaires, then you're not really a smart person. You know, there's a reason why they want to destroy public education, because poorly educated people are easily duped. And, you know, the things that we are seeing right now that are happening are the actions of wannabe dictators that want to take this country over. And that's why we have to make a stand. Elon Musk has no business going into our records, and that's exactly where they are. He has no business cutting entire organizations. You know, when Elon Musk says, look, I've saved you all kinds of money. I've saved you guys all kinds of money. What he's really doing is he's going, okay, how much is Medicare and Medicaid worth? $880 billion. Okay. Then he says, I'm going to save us $880 billion. But once again, that's Medicare and Medicaid. You're not daggone finding fraud, waste, and abuse. You're killing entire capabilities. By killing USAID, you shut down our arm that provides aid to the world. You know, right now.
farm subsidies. That's
Right?
what USAID is. So we
You've
lost
got-
a lot of farm subsidies.
You've got $2 billion worth of food that is purchased by American farmers that aren't getting purchased. And right now, you've got food that is sitting at docks that's rotting because there's nowhere to, there's nobody to take it anywhere. So let me tell you something. This is not what right looks like. This is what wrong looks like. And I am glad because we're only 35 days into this and people are waking up. Republicans are starting to get pissed off.
I hope so.
That's where we need to be. Look, I don't care if they drag Musk's carcass through the friggin' streets. I don't care. It won't bother me a bit because once again, all he's doing is trying to destroy our democracy. I took an oath. You took an oath to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and bear true faith and allegiance to the same, foreign and domestic. And right now we have domestic terrorism going on right now in our country, and they're on the verge of taking over. But make no mistake about it, every single day, more and more Republicans are waking up and realizing that they've been done wrong. West Virginia went for Donald Trump 100%. They've been underwater for the past 2 weeks. Southern West Virginia's almost been washed off the map. Donald Trump hasn't even acknowledged West Virginia. He went to West Virginia, put on a coal miner's cap, and duped all those people into thinking he was baby Jesus. And now he don't do jack shit for them when they're in need. But that's who Donald Trump is. He got your vote. Now he don't care.
He uses religion like very, very many Republicans do.
Exactly.
To control people. And when he said 2 Corinthians back in 2015, as a former evangelical who is now an agnostic, sometimes atheist, and a little bit witchy, I was so pissed off. So pissed off. I was like, how can these people follow somebody who doesn't even know that the way you say it is 2 Corinthians? Like, I spent all my life doing sword drills with the damn Bible, and I'm going to be struck by lightning. So if you see it happen, please understand that.
Let me tell you this.
We're recording.
Let me tell you this. I've never read the Bible, but make no mistake about it. You know what? My actions of always trying to help people, I believe, makes me a better Christian than they are. And I go at it almost daily with the daggone pastor. Because, once again, this is what happened. And Adam Kinzinger was spot on when he said, pastors, you did this. Pastors looked out their door and they saw their flock. They saw the cars and they saw Trump Vance stickers on all of them. And you know what they thought? If I daggone speak out against Donald Trump, they may not put money in my kitty. So they went in with Donald Trump. And I bust this daggone pastor that I went to church with years ago on a daily basis. And I know he hates my guts and I don't give 2 shits. But I'll tell you right now, I bust his ass every single day. Because point blank, I tell him, you did this. You did this. Right now, we are watching. Right now, we're watching. I mean, if you're religion, if you believe in religion, hell, you're probably looking at Donald Trump like he could possibly be the Antichrist. But you know what? You pastors did this. You went in wholeheartedly on Donald Trump. I mean, that pastor told me, Kamala Harris was enriched in satanic values. Why? Because she wanted young people to be able to afford their first home, because she wanted to lower prescription drug costs, because she wanted to allow Medicaid to cover the cost of your parents that are aging, that are living in your homes with home care. I mean, what's satanic about that? Nothing.
Major, I've got a good book for you to read. And for everybody who's listening to, I cannot recommend this book enough. It is called One Nation Under God by a guy named Kevin Kruse. It's spelled Kruse. And it talks about how religion was hijacked by corporate America to create the Christian right or these things. And how corporate America from the 1930s to present day puts money into things like the National Prayer Breakfast, and they have like foundations and stuff that write sermon notes for pastors, and they mail them out so that the pastors can be on their side. So the pastors have been duped. In the 1930s, most pastors were on the side of socialism, like they were legitimate socialists, because they saw what the Great Depression had done, and corporate America couldn't let that happen. So I recommend that book, and I really, really cannot recommend it enough. to everybody on this call.
I mean, but anybody that thinks that Donald Trump is religious is a friggin' moron. He's about as religious as a broken condom. The guy is absolute garbage. And look, I say what I say, and I stand behind what I say. There's nothing religious about this. And once again, I'm not a religious guy. I mean, I believe in God, but I don't push it on anybody's face. I believe that if you want to pray, don't ever pray in public, because all you're doing is trying to get people to look at you. Pray in privacy, and you're doing okay. That's the way it should be. Other than that, I don't need to talk religion with anybody.
The Bible
but I tell you,
says that.
But
yeah,
it
just pray in private.
Exactly.
What it does is it gave people the ability. It gave white people the ability to be as racist as they want to be. I had a buddy of mine in Southern West Virginia called me the other day, and he was talking to a bunch of these friends, and he said, "Hey, what are you guys going to do when they kill Social Security?" They actually looked at him and said, "They're not going to kill our Social Security. They're going after black people's Social Security."
Yep.
Really.
Yep.
Let me tell you something. We have racism. The biggest issue we have in this, I think one of the worst things we have in this country is racism. And it's been hidden, but it's not really hidden. It's out in the open. And now they're coming out with it. I mean, we've got friggin' neo-Nazis walking through the streets. My grandfather killed neo-Nazis. How about that? Those people shouldn't have the right to walk through these friggin' streets. I'll tell you right now, once again, Elon Musk, that was a Nazi salute. Steve Bannon, Nazi salute. If they don't think it is, take your ass to a daggone community where the majority of people are Israeli and start waving at cars like that, and watch how long it takes for you to get your ass handed to you.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. I what I've noticed in most of these is that I kind of talk too much, so I've been quiet. I think it's time to say something.
Go for it.
The main reason why we see the disparagement with the Latinos for Trump, with white women for Trump, with white men for Trump, with Asians for Trump, with everybody else except for the black 80%, and 20% of them were duped, is not because of the price of eggs. It's not because of religion. It's not because of the God that they say they serve. It's because of their proximity to whiteness. That's it. That is it. And whiteness, the academic whiteness. And I say this so much, people are probably tired of me saying it, but every time I get a chance, I'm going to say it, Major. But the idea that when you came over here and you're white Christian male, landowner should vote only whiteness, the academic whiteness, right?
Yeah, they want to go back to that.
And white women, no, you don't have that proximity to whiteness. You don't. It will be taken away from you and can. Whiteness is a construct. It's not real. It's whoever they say is right at the time. And so all of the people who came here and thought that pulling up the ladder behind them made them have more proximity to whiteness. All of the people who thought for sure that the only people they were going to arrest and deport were those other ones who don't have my proximity to whiteness with my car and my nice TV and my beautiful home. Those other ones are the ones that's going to go. They all voted because they thought that they had a proximity to whiteness that they don't have, and the only way they'll learn is the same way that we learned after 400 years with the boot on our neck. That's how we learned we don't have the proximity to whiteness that you think you have. No matter how much money, no matter how many TVs, cars, women, or gold. Yeah, that's the fact.
You're right. And understand that all those groups that somehow thought that because they bought a friggin' piece of shit hat and a cap, that they were going to be protected. There's a lot of them right now that are sitting in deportation centers waiting on a plane ride to take them back to a country that they fled from. So yeah, I mean that's what's going on, and it's absolutely unacceptable. And that's what kills me when I saw people, blacks for Trump, Latinos for Trump, Hispanics for Trump, Cubans for Trump. I mean, let me tell you something. Donald Trump was happy to take your vote.
Women for Trump. Yep.
Yeah, they were happy to take your vote. But now immediately, Donald Trump, what did he say? He said, well, we're going to take everything on a case-by-case basis, just like he said they were going to do for the January 6ers. He let them all out with one sign of a pen. But the same thing, we're going to only go after the people that are here illegally, that are committing crimes, and that's also bullshit. They're just rounding people up and trying to get rid of them, and that's what's happening in this country.
Whiteness exists in the proximity to slavery. There was something that was called the racial bribe that was given to poor white people in around 1676. I've talked about this before. I'm a nerd. And the idea was that at least I'm not black, essentially. They gave them some power over black people while maintaining power over them, and that's the white elites over poor white people. I and a lot of times whiteness, again, through a book I read called White Trash by Nancy Eisenberg, um, it didn't exist for most poor white people throughout time. Yep. So
let me tell you, they don't like poor white people either. You know, once again, they got their vote, but they don't like poor white people. Once again, you know, Southern West Virginia's underwater. Donald Trump hasn't even said a word, so they don't care. They don't care.
I have a question though. So, and it's a two-parter. One of them is this idea that they are dismantling everything. The VA, USAID, the CDC, the schools, everything, and it's like this. It's this fever dream of how much can I ruin and crush. There's your 6-year-old boy with a really big bat in his hand and no parents in the room. It doesn't. They're not thinking about it. They're just like more destruction. And I'm wondering.
This is where they're wrong.
I'm wondering how much of this Major is just incompetence, and how much of it is I want it all to burn. Go ahead and let Russia come in. I'm tired of regular and normal people. I want them all to burn. I want to own all the land. I want them to have to sell me all of the cows and all of the farmland. I don't really care about the country. I want to have back deals with Russia. And yeah, if this becomes a Russian colony, that's okay with me.
Here's the thing, though. You know, with what Elon Musk is doing and what they're trying to do, what they're doing is they want to dismantle like our country. And let me tell you something. It's only been 35 days, and the whole daggone globe is on fire. But also, a lot of Americans are really, really pissed. And look, we haven't even allowed them to start their getting rid of public education, because how's that going to look? What's it going to look like when you kill public education? Does that mean that when public education is gone, the government no longer sends any money towards public education? And if that happens, then what happens to education in general? I mean, what about these rural areas where the school is all they have? You know, what are they going to do? Right. I want to tell you, this is going to explode in their face.
Major, in how many states? I believe it's 10 or 11 now. They're already lowering the child labor laws. And
that's been
part of the plan for quite some time.
We have all these mini workers.
One guy in Georgia is talking about, hey, well, why don't you just have them go work? And he thinks that people are okay with that because he's so far removed.
Yeah, and his ass got his ass handed to him in that. And I'll tell you right now, he's going to have a hard damn time winning his reelection. And that's the message that those people need to send to him: is until you stand up to daggone Elon Musk and Donald Trump, don't you dare come down here and daggone darken our doorstep and act like you're a fighter for the people. You're a bootlicking worm is what you are. And that's exactly the way it is. You know, and we got to call these people out.
Can I bring something up, Major Ojeda?
Yes.
What do you think about what happened in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho?
Oh, the woman.
The woman who got dragged out of the Republican
Yes. Absolutely.
Let me give a little background for anybody that might not know about it. Okay. There was a woman in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. She ran as a Democrat there. She showed up at the Republicans held a town hall. And she and some other members of the audience there, it was a public meeting, a public town hall. The public was invited. And she said that she was standing there yelling back at the speaker, who was the sheriff from another city, was not even from Coeur d'Alene. They had hired thugs from outside, from California, were there. And they manhandled this woman and dragged her out with her arms twisted behind her back, held her down on the ground, manhandled this woman. And basically he was attempting, he was taunting. She was a doctor. She is a doctor. They were taunting her from the microphone. He was saying, "This is what you get, little girl, for standing up and speaking out." And this right now, I think from what
Check
I'm
his hard
seeing
drive
is,
for sure.
I think what's happening is that they saw what happened with people showing up at town halls, speaking out against Republicans and at their own town halls. And just like they did with, other situations, they brought somebody up, made them an example. And I think that this is not going to be an outside isolated case. I think we're going to see more hired thugs showing up, and Republicans are going to make sure that they keep a handle on what's happening at these town halls. Is there something that you recommend that can be done to protect people's rights when speaking out at town halls?
I would say, first and foremost, it's a First Amendment, issue, number one. Number two, if somebody is hired, if they're a sheriff from another county over, I don't really think they have arresting powers if they're just hired by the
He did not. He was a speaker. Actually, he did not. He was a speaker. The mayor, the sheriff's department of Coeur d'Alene, they put out statements against it. And it was absolutely not legal what they had done.
So the people that drug her out should be arrested. There, no doubt about it. They should be arrested. Yeah. And the truth is that somebody in the audience should have stood up and said, we're not going to allow you to treat a woman like that.
They did not. And actually, if you watch the video, as a matter of fact, if you watch Major, there was a man sitting next to her, and I will call this man out.
He got up and got out of the way.
He got up. That man is a coward. I will call him out. All the people around her looked at her and just watched. They watched. And I have a message to those people. If any of them happen to hear within the sound of my voice, it's you next. It's not just going to be liberals. It's not just going to be her. It's not going to be the good doctor. Okay. The next time you stand up and speak out, it's going to be you. Okay. Because
first they came for the communist, and I was not a communist. So I did not.
There are two sides right now. It is the ruling class and the working class. And I'm sorry, honey, unless you're at the country club, you're not part of them. They're going to come after you next.
Yeah.
Quick shout out to Jasmine.
Oh, go ahead. Shout out to Jasmine.
Nope. Quick shout out to Jasmine. That's all I had. Sorry. Carry on.
I was going to say that we just saw yesterday up in my neck of woods in Pennsylvania, the GOP pushed out a local candidate whose name I am missing at the moment, but basically because she was black. And they put out something about, we're not going to have any DEI candidates here. So they're already throwing people of color off the boat as quick as they can. They're happy to do it because mentally they believe they have won. They believe the fight is over. They believe everybody is kowtowing to them. They have no reason. I haven't even
started yet.
They feel they have no reason to continue the charade that they actually are on the same side with conservatives who happen to be people of color. They're not. That is extra ballast they're looking to get rid of now.
The positive thing is that people are pissed all across the country. When you get rid of park rangers, when you get rid of people that work at the VA, you're getting rid of Republicans too. What they are doing is they're vilifying themselves from the people. And I'm going to tell you, it's only about Donald Trump. He even posted something. They're asking me to get rid of Elon Musk. Donald Trump is wanting to keep Elon Musk as long as he can because Donald Trump, he loves Elon Musk because Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, and that's what Donald Trump wants to be.
And that dude paid all of his legal fees off, all of his fines and fees.
Elon, look, you're not going to convince me that Elon Musk didn't have votes swapped. I had Greg Palast on my show, and he was talking about, one of the reasons why Kamala Harris lost, and he believes that she would have won, but there were over 5 million votes that were cast out. And oh, by the way, guess what color those votes come from? It shouldn't be really hard. It was people of color, and we've been watching this. We watched a couple elections ago in Louisville, Kentucky, where they shut down every single polling station in areas of color except for one. And that's where everybody had to go. And at 8:30 at night, they were trying to shut down the daggone polling station, but there were still over 1,000 people beating on the windows. they had to go to the courts and say, nope, keep it open, let them vote. But this is the kind of tactics that they use. They're not going into white neighborhoods and shutting down polling stations. They're going into black neighborhoods and shutting down polling stations. They don't want black people to be able to vote. And make no mistake about it, if you vote, you better find out how you can make sure that your vote was counted. And that needs to happen. You know, people of color are being disenfranchised. Women are being treated like shit right now. Once again, they want what he said in the beginning. What they want is rich, white landowners casting the votes, and everybody else, nope, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We will take care of everybody. Yeah, folks, let me tell you something. Our democracy is hanging in the balance, and we're not going to lose. We're going to win because we can't lose to these daggone buffoons because that's what they are. But what we have to do is wait for, well, I'm hoping very, very soon, everybody's going to start waking up. People are waking up. But, you know, once again, I think within 6 months, every Republican is going to know, especially if they keep Elon Musk. Every Republican is going to know that if you do not stand against Donald Trump and Elon Musk, don't you dare darken our doorstep when it's time for you to get elected. Let my opponent come down to North Carolina's 9th Congressional District and try to act like he gives a shit. I look forward to those days.
Do you even know who you're running against? Who are you going to be running against?
Richard Hudson. And he's a swamp monster. Stays in Washington, D.C.
He's a bootlicker.
Yeah, he's one of those people that comes down here right before the election, just does what he has to do and leaves. But once again, I've always thought that was absolute garbage. They go off to most people in Washington, D.C. And look, I got plans, and I would like to let you all know my plans.
Yes.
But
go right ahead. We're listening.
Okay. Here's the first thing I want to do. And once again, I'm pissed because 50 friggin' years, nobody's done it. Democrats too. Why have we not stood on the damn House floor and said, I want to bring back the fairness doctrine? The fairness doctrine required that news media had to have integrity and honesty in their news. And then they got rid of the fairness doctrine, which brought Fox News about. And oh, by the way, that's how they're winning. They're poisoning the minds of a lot of people in this country. Right now, as soon as Donald Trump took over, what was the first thing they did? One of the first things they did was got rid of all the news stations on military bases and replaced them with Newsmax, Fox, and OAN. So they can now start poisoning. Yeah, they can start poisoning the veterans out there, making them think that, this country, the Republicans are the best way. That's what they're trying to do. So I want to bring back the fairness doctrine. I want to create a national pay scale for teachers and school service personnel. What you got to understand is, first and foremost, we should be spending a hell of a lot more money on our teachers and school service personnel and our children. North Carolina is 49th in terms of how much money we spend on each student when they go to school. 49th. Now, North Carolina is 9th in population growth, but we're 49th in how much money we spend, and we're only 44th in how much we pay our teachers. So that shit's got to stop. But if we have a nationalized pay scale, and listen to what I'm saying, anybody here that's a veteran, you know what I'm talking about. If you live in Fort Drum, New York, and you're a private, you make the exact same amount as a private that's in Fort Lewis, Washington. The only difference is you get a cost of living allowance, and it's going to be more than the one in Washington because it's more expensive to live in New York. So imagine if we had teachers. Imagine if we had teachers, and we said, okay, here's the deal. When you're a brand new teacher and you got a bachelor's degree, you get this much money. And it's not going to be in the friggin' gutter like it's been forever. We need to raise that shit. You can't create a doctor and a lawyer without a teacher. So we got to pay them what they deserve. I would say they're the most important occupation that we have, and that's a fact. But let's say we pay a person with a bachelor's degree this much and a master's degree, we pay this much. And every 5 years, automatically you get bumped up to the next level of pay. And once again, if you got a master's, you make more than a bachelor's. And it goes that way all the way. And if you do that, this is what happens. If you do that, when you have border counties, so I lived in West Virginia for a while, and I taught in West Virginia, but we had border counties, and a lot of teachers, the good teachers, the ones that you really want to keep, well, why the hell should they stay in Mingo County and teach those kids when they can jump right across the river into Kentucky, and it's like they get an $8,000 a year raise? So the good teachers jump over there. Now, do you know how we teach the kids in the border counties? You go over there, you find every damn assistant friggin' wrestling and soccer coach is now teaching English, science, and math. I watched the guy who did not speak Spanish teach Spanish. So let that set in. So I think a nationalized pay scale would be good. Now, here's something else. You will never in your life ever convince a member of Congress to vote for term limits. But you know what I think we can get them to vote for? And I think they'd go with this. And especially the people would be behind it. A 20-year and out. 20-year and out. You do 20 years, you retire with 50% of your base pay, just like the military. Let that be the way it goes. Because a lot of people aren't going to make it to 20 years, period. So they may be more than willing to do it. But here's the reason why we got to do this. Because we've got people that are right now in Congress that were there to fucking impeach Bill Clinton. So let me tell you something. Show me a person that's been in Washington, D.C. for 40 friggin' years. And I'll show you somebody that has lost touch with their constituents. And that's a fact. They're multimillionaires. I don't think they should be allowed to play the stock market. I think insider trading should be a crime, but they get away with it. That needs to stop. But that's the reason. They don't know what life is like for their constituents because they've been multimillionaires for years, decades. So that's what we have to try to stop.
I'm from the state of South Carolina. We had a person serve as our senator till he was 103.
Oh,
His name
yeah.
is Strom Thurmond.
Strom Thurmond. Yeah, exactly.
And
I mean, come on.
I met him when I was 15 years old, and I was told as a 15-year-old girl to watch his hands.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I remember that same speech.
Uh-huh.
We were in different grades, but I remember that, and I was like, "What are we talking about with his hands?" Yep, okay.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, here's another thing, and I know a lot of people will think this is kind of crazy, but what if we said we require all lobbyists to wear body cameras, and anytime you speak to a member of Congress, I don't give a shit if you're found in aisle 5 in Walmart speaking to a member of Congress and you don't have your body camera on, you automatically lose your license to be a lobbyist. That's what needs to happen. But imagine if a person could just go on their computer and they could basically look up their representative and they could see all of the conversations that they had with lobbyists, and you could dial in and listen to the conversation. Imagine how less likely they would be to sell you down the river. And let me tell you something. The lobbying is as dirty as you can think. What they normally do, the moment you become a member of Congress, the first people you get visit from are lobbyists. And what they do is they tell you, hey, man, we are lobbyists and we have a business across the street. And, if we're going to be sending some stuff your way. If you support us, maybe one of these days, if you decide you want to get out of politics, we'll hire you. Oh, by the way, you walk across the street, you go from $174,000 a year to $2.4 million a year. So now you got members of Congress that are so excited about getting that job that they're more than willing to do whatever they ask of them. So that's the kind of stuff. Lobbyists is absolutely ripping us apart. Now, there's all kinds of other stuff that I would like to do in terms of North Carolina. I want to bring in more money for teachers and school service personnel. I want to bring in more for corrections officers. And of course, I want more infrastructure money. When Donald Trump got in, the first thing he did was kill the infrastructure. And by killing the infrastructure, he took $6 to $8 billion away from West Virginia alone. Every single state had billions of dollars that were still waiting to be spent on infrastructure. And Donald Trump and them snatched that back. That's part of the money that they're going to be given to the filthy rich. So these are just some of the things that I've come up with so far. But once again, I got to get around the district. I got to meet everybody. I got to find out what their major issues are that they want me to represent. And remember, that's what it's all about. Representation. It's not for you to get a job, to go to Washington, D.C. and do all the shit that you want to do. It's you go to Washington, D.C. and you do the stuff that your constituents want you to be there for. And that's what it's supposed to be about.
Hey, Major, can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm getting a lot of, in our comment sections specifically, I don't know if you see this a lot in yours, of somebody do something. And my response to that usually is,
you're somebody.
You are the somebody. Ain't
That's
nobody
right.
coming to save us but us.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, you're right.
Is there any other advice you have for me when someone comes at me with that?
I mean, you're spot on. I mean, it's what are you going to do? Are you just going to sit back and wait for somebody else to do it? I mean, at the end of the, but that's right. That's what. But a lot of people are like, what do we do? What do we do? I mean, I'm sitting here. I'm like, they're going after VA healthcare. I mean, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is why I threw my hat in the ring to run. You know, I think that if we don't bring checks and balances back to our government in 2026, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, and that's what they want. You know, there is going to continue to be elections. The only election that we're worried about ever not happening again is the friggin' presidency. But make no mistake about it, there's always going to be people out there that are running for office. But once again, think about it. If you don't want to run for office, maybe there's other people out there that you would like to get in contact with. You know, if you're a Democrat, get involved on the Democratic committees out there in your areas, because make no mistake about it, there will come times when there'll be a bus for all you all to get on and go to Washington, D.C. and raise hell. And oh, by the way, members of Congress, if I get to Congress and there's some shit going on, I'll be one of the first ones to call for everybody. Let's get to Washington, D.C. on this date, and let's show these people what the hell's going on. You know, I think that's important, you know, and I don't mind. I don't have a problem going to Washington, D.C. Doesn't bother me at all. But once again, you know, right now I am committed to this election, and I'm going to bust my ass to send this friggin' Republican packing.
I just want to point out that when I was 19 years old, as a fucking infantry private, First Sergeant came to me and said, "Private Everett, I need somebody to learn how to drive the bus. So you're going to go get your bus driver's license." So I just want to throw out there, just for your self-awareness, sir, that I know how to drive a Bluebird bus.
You have a bus. So somebody messaged in the chat and said Ojeda should be the Secretary of Defense. No, I shouldn't.
No,
I should not. And here's why. Because, you know, even though, first off, I have way more capabilities than Hegseth does. I no offense to the National Guard, but I mean, you know, this guy is an untabbed friggin' infantry officer. You know, this guy right here, National Guard, they don't have the same thing. I'm sorry, a week in a month does not give you the capability. But even though I did 24 years in the military, understand that the majority of that position is usually filled by a retired 4-star general or an admiral. And let me tell you the reason why that's important is because the entire time they're in the military, every time you make a move in the military, especially in the officer side and the NCO side, there is a block of instruction that goes with that. When you go for, you know, back when I was a young E4 getting ready to pin E5, I had to go through the primary leadership development course. When I was a lieutenant, I had to go to when I was a lieutenant, I had to go through the basic officer engineer course. When I was a captain, I had to go to the advanced course. When I was a major, I had to go to the Command General Staff College. When you're a full board colonel, you go to the War College. And it's like that all the way up. Make no mistake about it. When you start talking about joint logistics over the sea, it is absolutely some complicated shit. And it requires a lot of knowledge and education to learn that stuff. And you got to be subject matter experts. Anybody who's ever briefed General David Petraeus, he's a person. And the majority of people that make it to 4-star generals, they got photographic memories. They're just absolutely brilliant at what they do. They are perfect for the job, and they're perfect for Secretary of Defense. Hegseth is not. Hegseth is doing the wrong things. You know, the guy promised
drinking on the job.
I'll quit drinking if you give me the job. And then he's, you know, the first chance he gets in Europe, he's sipping on friggin' liquor while he's giving a shitty speech. But I mean, that's what it is. That's the way that it is.
Drinking at the podium. My God, podium. Not even drinking on the job.
I mean, who does that?
Exactly. Yeah.
I will tell you that I have worked in health insurance for 25 years. I'm more qualified than Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as well. For one thing, I believe vaccines work.
Yeah. I mean, look, Donald Trump is not putting people in positions because they're the best of the best. He's putting people in positions because they lick his friggin' boots. They will do whatever he tells them to do. And that's what Donald Trump wants. Donald Trump wants to be a dictator. But the truth is he's a buffoon. You know, I was thinking at first, I was like, you know, could he be the Antichrist? And then I thought to myself, nah, he's too stupid for that. You know, I worry about J.D. Vance because J.D. Vance, even though he's a boot-licking worm, that guy right there, he's intelligent. He's got a degree from Yale University.
Book. I will never get that time back.
Yeah. But I mean,
I watched the movie, so.
Hey, just so you know, I actually bought the book and turned around and got a refund for it from Audible because I was like, yo, fuck this guy.
Dude, I grew up in Appalachia. He didn't even grow up in Appalachia. He grew up in the middle of Ohio. You know, I don't understand where he gets his Appalachian anything. You know, I grew up in a friggin' holler, you know?
Hells yeah.
Show of
No,
hands.
he's a carpet.
Who has
That's what we
never,
call a
ever,
carpetbagger.
ever left the couch?
Do what?
Everybody who's never fucked a couch.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, you know, they're just all bootlickers. I mean, there's nothing that I hate more than people that will lower themselves to somebody who's lower than all of them. You know, I mean, that's what it is. Donald Trump is not an intelligent person. You know, Donald Trump told over 30,000 verified lies. And then I got to look at these people and say, you know, I did a video on TikTok and I ripped a guy a new one. It was a guy from USAID. And he was crying because he lost his job. And he was a Republican that voted for Donald Trump. And, you know, I had to rip him a new one and be like, what, did you honestly think that they were going to only go after the Democrats' jobs? You know, that only the Democrats were the ones that were going to lose out on benefits? No, they're hurting everybody. When you attack the VA and you get rid of 6,000 positions at the VA, you're going to make it harder for me, you know, or a Republican to get a daggone appointment for dental issues or for surgery you're just making it harder for them. And that's what's going to happen, you know, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And that's why veterans need to put their foot down. Veterans need to go to every single town hall that happens. If you're a veteran, you should go and get involved in your political party and tell them we need to call our representative down here for a town hall. And if they don't show up, make sure you let everybody know that. That's the same thing that's happened. His name's Gabe, and he's done nothing but tell his constituents, we just don't have time. Bullshit. You work for those people. It's your responsibility. And I'm like, you know, they leave to Washington, D.C. and go home all the damn time. When they go home, that's their responsibilities. Their responsibility ain't to go home like Ted Cruz and sit on the couch in his underwear playing fucking Xbox. And I know that's what he does, by the way. But I mean, you know, your job is to go back and get with your constituents. And number one, make sure that your azimuth is the right azimuth that they want you to be on. And if it's not, then you have to basically shoot a new azimuth.
And I'm going to add something because I think this is important too, and I'd love for more people to talk about it at town halls, is they're doing an $800 billion cut to Medicaid. From a perspective of a little bit of a World War II buff, this looks and feels a lot like eugenics to me, because the Medicaid is what covers like old folks' homes, right?
Mm-hmm. That's what
like,
I was getting.
If your grandma is sick and can't take care of herself, chances are Medicaid is paying for her to stay in an old folks home.
Yes.
Disabled people who are not veterans, but who have also paid into the system for 30 years, and then suddenly something happens and they're disabled and cannot function, they need Medicaid to pay for their doctors because their lives are very expensive. This is by getting rid of Medicaid and getting rid of services to those particular people. These are death panels like they talked about during the Obamacare ACA
That is
fight.
right.
And these are also ways that it's eugenics to get rid of the people who cannot take care of themselves.
But what did Elon Musk say? He said that there needs to be an event that takes place that reduces the number of people in the world, like a catastrophic event. Understand that when he says $880 billion, that is Medicaid and Medicare. And that's what they want to get rid of. And oh, you're right. You know, if your parent needs to be put in a home, what they do is if your parent draws Social Security, that automatically goes to the home. So when they kill Social Security, get ready for them to give you a call and say, hey, you need to come pick up your grandmother.
I don't think that they understand that. Do you?
That's the thing. But see, the thing, that's all these people. These people don't. That's no different than the Republicans thinking they're going to come in here and they're going to raise the prices for all these Hispanic and Latinos. But of course, they're not going to touch mine. Yeah, that's how they're learning. They're learning the hard way. Once again, they're in the find out stage that they don't give a shit about them no more than they give a shit about the Democrat. They don't give a shit about the old people no more than they don't give a shit about the veteran. All they care about is themselves. And all they want to do is create an environment where the billionaires have it all. And the people, we're going to be too busy with our nose to the friggin' grind because they're going to make it to where it's almost impossible for you to even take a break. You're going to work yourself to death. The life expectancy is going to friggin' drop. And that's what's going to happen. And that's what they want. They don't give a shit. They don't care if you die.
Because that keeps the population easy to control.
Right.
Yeah. Listen, the same guy who has 150 kids with 500 different baby mamas that he found in the same comment section of his own platform. This guy, his whole point in life is to be a user. This is the user class. That big event that you're talking about, Major. The event is putting someone like RFK Jr. in charge of health. That way, that's done. The event is getting rid of the education. Go ahead and kids go to the mines. The event is when bird flu hits. Whoever makes it. I mean, I'm gonna make it. I'm rich. The rest of you and whoever's left, the rest of us are gonna go ahead and divide up your homes and your farms and the land. We're gonna own it all, and you will just go ahead and be an indentured servant. You'll be a slave, and there's not enough of you to fight back. They're a user class. They use the women. He uses his baby mamas. Trump has been using girls, little ones. Trump has been using his own parents. Trump tried to get his dad to sign over the rights of his brothers and sisters to take advantage of his senile dad. And the mom had to come in there and stop him. Like, what do you do?
I mean, at the end of the day, I really believe, the rest of the world is already realizing what's going on. I mean, we are the laughing stock. We're not the laughing stock. You have a lot of people across the globe that are scared to death because they know that we are now on shaky ground. They know that we are on the process of losing our democracy. When they voted with Putin recently, basically instead of condemning the war in Ukraine, they voted for Russia. Folks, if you don't realize that Donald Trump, and they've already come out and said, there was a KGB agent that said since 1987, they've been basically wooing Donald Trump. And now we see what's happening. And this is what's happening. And this is exactly what's going on.
I'm gonna say it again. I think if it's a conspiracy, I don't know. I'm just looking at what's happening. I think that they honestly don't mind, both of them, the Doge King and the Golden King. Both don't mind if this becomes a colony. They only care about whatever they can get for it. None of this matters to them. One of them's not even a daggone citizen. If he is, he just became one. And the other one is, Trump. Nothing else to say about that. The tangerine tornado himself. He is. I don't think that they have a problem with becoming the next colony of Russia. It wouldn't bother them as long as they make sure that they're on the oligarchs' table. As long as they can get the money that they need. And am I going too far with that? The reason why I asked that, like, it sounds crazy to someone when it's it, but looking at what we're seeing, it looks like that's exactly what they want. That's why they don't no military, no social security. We don't care about the farms. We don't care about anything.
Honestly, I think that they're all a bunch of buffoons, and I think that the things that they're doing, everybody sees it. I think that if you think January 6th was a big thing, just wait, because it's going to get worse. And I'm telling you right now, if the veterans of this country lose all of their capabilities, I'm telling you right now, it's going to get ugly. And let me tell you something. I was appalled on January the 6th because Donald Trump did that. Donald Trump launched a coup because Donald Trump was scared that he was going to lose and he would end up having to pay for the crimes that he has committed. Now, for some odd reason, Merrick Garland drug his feet for 4 friggin' years, that sack of shit, and allowed Donald Trump to beat the system. But I'm going to tell you, we know what happens to dictatorships. And I'm going to tell you, the United States of America is not going to tolerate a fucking dictatorship. Nope. And I'm going to tell you right now, what happens to dictatorships is usually it ends by their bodies being drugged through the friggin' streets. And I'm going to tell you right now, you keep pushing, you keep poking the bear. You keep poking the bear. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to turn friggin' everyday people into Luigi Mangiones if we get to that point. And at the end of the day, if that's the path that we're on,
alleged for Luigi.
Allegedly, that's right.
Allegedly.
I didn't see nothing.
Yeah, that looks like nothing to me.
I got a new catchphrase. Every time I enter the room, this is the new catchphrase. Number 1 is, don't ask me if I'm packing. Number 2 is, we are not nonviolent. We use nonviolence as a tool to get what we need. But I'm not nonviolent.
Yeah.
Let that be
I saw a chat I want to tell y'all about. If you give me like 3 seconds. There was a chat that I saw pass through, and it says Musk is not autistic, he's altruistic. Using maybe
that's
a little bit.
That's good. That's good. I mean, I love the fact that the swastikars, love it.
It's so funny.
The incel Caminos.
and you see, people are just like, they park to go inside a store. They come out, their cars are painted with all kinds of shit on it.
It's so funny.
I saw that somebody egged it, and that's commitment. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Tim.
All right. So the background is Donald Trump or Pete Smegma Breath or whatever, whoever the fuck it was, essentially fired the JAG Corps that oversees illegal orders. And there are unconfirmed reports that I have seen about military personnel getting an email demanding that they swear loyalty to Donald Trump, and they have to reply to the email. I haven't confirmed whether or not it's true. So with that in mind, the question from Discord is from Hoot and Holler, who sounds like they might be from West Virginia. Goes Holler. Will the military respect the UCMJ, and will they carry out illegal orders?
That is why, no matter what, no matter who you are, if you are in the military, you have a duty to refuse to do anything that is illegal, immoral, or unlawful. Now, what we have to hope for right now is that the people that we have there, that they're willing to take that stand. And I'm going to tell you, that they just, they fired 2 people on the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. They fired the woman and the black guy. So that right there tells you right there where their mind is. But once again, and they're replacing them with a guy that literally put on a Trump hat and told Donald Trump that he loved him. So that's what Donald Trump wants. And let me tell you something. For every Michael Flynn, there's 100 good officers. We have to hope that our officers are going to take a stand and not going to allow our military to be stolen by these friggin' people that never had the friggin' balls to pick up a rifle and man a post. I don't see how anybody who's ever served in the military should have any respect whatsoever for Donald Trump's chicken shit ass. And now that we know Elon Musk did the same thing, bunch of pussies.
I had an interview 2 days ago with Lieutenant Colonel retired Malcolm Ritchie. He's been putting his hat in for the race in Ohio, District 6. And the very first thing he said was, them getting rid of these judges. I've never known anybody or any leader or even enlisted that thought that they were an impediment to what we were doing. We knew that we needed them. But the minute that they get rid of them, he seems to be adamant that it's guaranteed that we're going to see genocidal things. Yep. We're going to see human rights violations at a mass scale, because war is a funny thing. It changes you, and you, the person that you were before you got there, You may not be when you came home, and there's a lot of aftercare that's necessary. But when you're in it, just like people who are in crowds have crowd think and group think, it gets harder and harder to be able to use the uniform code of military justice on people who have no judges to back it. It gets harder and harder, and that is a real worry to me. That's a real worry.
Ben Bay said, "What do I think of Flynn? I think Michael Flynn is a traitor. He is a bootlicking coward. He's a liar, and he should have went to prison." That's what I think of Michael Flynn. But like I said, for every Michael Flynn, I believe there's 100 that are far superior that actually care.
And I agree.
I'm glad you.
Do you have any idea how to get a hold of like Mark Milley and James Mattis?
You know, I'm sure that there's a way. I wish, you know, we need them. I mean, this is what bothers me is I don't want to see people sit silent. I mean, where are you at, Obama? Where are you at, Kamala? I mean, it pissed me off because it was like they were in a dead race to see who could get to the microphone and concede this race. You know, I still believe that daggone Elon Musk did some damage and things happen. But you know what? Where are you at? Where are you at, General Mattis? Where are you at, General Kelly? I want these people to be out here on the news ripping these generals that aren't taking a stand. Where are you at, Petraeus? You know, that's what I want those people to get off their asses and go on television and say, hey, look, if you're in the military, because they're retired, if you're in the military, remember, if you are given an order that is illegal, immoral, or unlawful, you have a duty to absolutely refuse. You know, that's what needs to happen. And when they start kicking people out because they refused, that's when they become the fucking enemy of the people. That's what happens.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about what happened with the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the JAG expulsions?
Horrible.
Yes.
I mean, look, who did they fire? The woman and a black man.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Because they were DEI.
Yeah. Bullshit. You know, that's what kills me.
And they replaced him with 2 white men.
And the JAG officers, I mean, look, you know, what you're doing is you're trying to get rid of the people who check you. You're trying to get rid of the checks and balances in the military. So if that's the path that we're going to go on, it's going to be, you know, look, at the end of the day, I mean, I hope that we can recover. I hope that we can get back our country. And you know what? It may require eventually that we find ourselves in a knockdown, drag out. You know, I can patrol the streets here just like I patrolled them in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Uh-huh.
What do you think is going to be the proverbial line in the sand? Like, you're saying, and I have been accused of saying things that everybody else is thinking, like in our content, whether it's on live stream right now or video content that we've made or posts that we've made about, like, the line is here, and nobody seems to really want it. Like, everybody's thinking it. Like, we're all thinking, like, God, it would be really fucking awful if something happened. Or look at that guy in his human shield. What if somebody missed? You know, those little fucking invasive, evil, dark thoughts that some people have. So my question is, like, where is the line? Because we're all sitting here watching shit and we're like, okay, 1932 Germany, 1934 Germany.
Yeah,
this should happen. This should happen. 2024, 2025 America. And we're like, these things are starting to fucking level out, and like, nobody wants the shit to happen, but at some point we have to kind of.
I think that if they kill public education and start killing SNAP, going after those, I'm going to tell you, they're going to wake the sleeping giant. I live in North Carolina and I love it here, but I grew up in Southern West Virginia. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of those Trump supporters, they're poor Republicans. The poor Republicans in West Virginia and Eastern Kentucky are starting to realize that the other Republicans don't give 2 shits about them. and that the truth is that there's no such thing as a poor Republican. It's an oxymoron. You were duped into thinking that you were a poor Republican so they could get your vote. And now that they got their vote, they're coming after your capabilities. When they go after SNAP, when they go after food stamps, I'm telling you right now, you're going to put a lot of people in a lot of desperate positions. And I think, when they get rid of public education, I think it's just going to come to an absolute screeching halt. I think people are going to say, we're done with this bullshit. And look, if that's the case, and everybody wants to march on Washington, let's fucking go. Let's do it. I don't give a shit. They did it on January the 6th. I'm not calling for anything like that, but I'm going to tell you right now, there are people in this country that are probably almost at that point. Once again, when you get rid of hundreds of thousands of jobs, you just took their capability to pay their house payment, to pay their car payment, to put food on their table, to put clothing on their children's backs. When you take people to that point, let me tell you something. There is a percentage of those people that say, that's it. You've crossed that line. And I'm going to tell you right now, it is going to get ugly, and it is going to get violent, and it will get violent if they continue going down this path. And look at what they're doing. They got Kash Patel, and now Kash Patel is going to step over and take over the ATF, and they're going to give it to Dan Bongino, whatever his name is. These are not. And by the way, did you see his letter? Did you see the letter he wrote to everybody? I mean, wow. He wrote a response that's absolutely unacceptable. Unacceptable.
What was I didn't see that. What was his letter?
Basically he was like, you people asked for it, now you're going to get it.
Oh, I've got some friends up in West Virginia that have been sniping squirrels out of trees since they were about knee high to a pissant. And I'm here to tell you that they're about to get up and teach you a lesson, sir.
Get them.
I don't think so.
Look, I'm telling you, there's a reason why they made it terrorism at what Luigi Mangione did. You know why, don't you? Because when it's terrorism, you don't have a jury trial.
Right.
See, they're scared to death that Luigi Mangione goes to court and there's somebody that says not guilty. They're scared of that. So they say, okay, here's what we do. We're going to make it to where if you mess with the billionaires, we're going to call that terrorism. They don't give a shit about children being shot up in schools. They don't care about that shit. Thoughts and prayers. But make no mistake about it. What they're doing right now is they're trying to make everybody know that you better not mess with the billionaire class because that's terrorism. And you know what? Who gives a shit? Once you get to that point, it don't matter if it's terrorism or not.
None of it matters.
None of it matters.
Yeah. So we hope that we don't have to get there. The first way that we do that, though, is things like these veterans. I like the pushing of veterans fighting back. This march on the 14th. It seems like we absolutely have no choice but to constantly show up as people. Like I said, I am not nonviolent. We're using nonviolent as a tactic that works 80% more times than violent revolution. Nonviolent works 80% more time. So we'd be dumb not to use it.
Yeah.
But when veterans show up, when people who've had to fight show up, and people who've trained to fight show up, and people who have a little bit of street credibility, I'm hoping that in the back of their minds, they're realizing it's a choice to be nonviolent at that point.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping they realize at that point, is that, everybody out there is a veteran. It's a choice. I get it now. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping will happen if they're intelligent at all.
People mistake nonviolence as, like you think of nonviolence, it's like, oh, it's that fucking pacifist guy. But you have to bear in mind that, first of all, Dr. Martin Luther King owned guns. He carried and packed heat on a daily basis until his house was firebombed. And at that point, he decided, I am not going to carry, because if something happens to me, my weapon becomes a liability to his family. Dr. King was not nonviolent. He espoused nonviolence, but he was prepared to defend himself from many many years.
That's right.
The whole reason that the Black Panther movement didn't get wiped out by the FBI was because those guys had fucking guns. So when people think nonviolence is strictly nonviolence, where you just stand there and let yourself get punched, that's not what that is. It's my vow is to come to this protest to be nonviolent, but motherfucker, if you fuck with me, I will push your shit into the nth degree so that you taste it on the back of your teeth. That is my vow as a veteran. I'm there to protest. I will yell my fucking arse off because I can tell people to get off my grass all day long, all day strong. But the second that somebody's fist comes towards my face, it's like, oh, you missed. Guess what, motherfucker?
Back. Don't go away.
There's the other side of that nonviolence as well. Like there's times when, first of all, Dr. King said he after reading Gandhi's work is when he decided to do that. So it's a choice. Right. It wasn't just because he's a pastor. It's because he decided that way worked, and I could use this. Being beat up, going to jail, all of that is also a tactic. It takes a little bit of bravery, right? The idea that somebody who is in power attacks somebody without power sends a message to the world that jars them, and that's how
like
it works.
Birmingham, the little girls in Birmingham were attacked with the fire hoses.
So yeah, so don't get it wrong. I understand what nonviolence is. I'm just hoping beyond hope that the imagery of soldiers using nonviolence reminds them that it's not because Dr. King told them to. It's just a choice.
Yeah.
Well, and maybe they'll change their stance.
Yeah, we're here and we're being nonviolent, but make no mistake about it. 14th. Yeah, we're here and we're being nonviolent, but make no mistake about it. Every one of us absolutely knows how to use violence.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, I'm going to have to hop off here because I got to go live in 10 minutes. But everybody, if you like what you hear, if you think you would like somebody like me in Washington, D.C., the link is right there. That's my Act Blue link. Folks, let me tell you something. It costs a lot of money to win a race, and I am absolutely committed to this. I'm going to flip a red seat blue, and if I get to Washington, D.C., make no mistake about it. You will hear my voice, and you know what? Maybe we can have the Sons of Liberty come and do an episode right in my office. What?
Yeah.
I am so down for that.
I'm down for that.
Let's do it.
Actually, I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. If your campaign or once you get to Congress, if you need a first sergeant / sergeant major type figure, I'm down to tell people to get off your grass.
Throw
that out there.
As always, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Keep it up, and I'll be on again anytime, brother.
Thanks for joining us, Major.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, Major.
Appreciate you.
Oh, Doug, you're staying.
I love that guy's energy. Every time he comes on, I'm just like,
he's a great guest.
Yeah.
I could just relax. He can bring the thunder. I'll be over there.
You'll be over there making a drink.
It is nice.
I try not to interrupt too much. I do like to spew facts, though. That's my favorite thing to do is to recommend books and talk about history.
No, that's good.
I have
usually
books to discuss.
Oh, I usually step in a bit too hard. I was looking over the old one, guys, and I'm like, you know what? Like, this is not the Admin Doug show. What is going on? It's time to be quiet. I said, I'm just going to be quiet for a while until I absolutely can't anymore. And I went about 30 minutes. I was proud.
I'm proud of you.
And then you were like,
that was a big step.
Proximity to white greatness. And I'm just like, somewhere, because, and here's why I'm going to say this. Because Admin V posted a thing about feminism, and a couple of fucking mouth-breathing oxygen thieves got super up in their feelings about it.
Okay.
So-called progressives that were like, this feminist is talking about men. What the fuck?
Oh, God.
So when I say this, it's from that background. Is when you started in on that, I instantly was like, I love the vibe. I love the energy. But in my right ear is a little voice that's like, you know, somewhere somebody's gonna see that and say some shit, right? And I'm just like, fuck them,
Oh, yeah.
motherfuck the motherfuckers, as the song
Well,
goes.
I have posted 3, maybe 4 feminist topics, and they better get ready. Y'all better get ready for this because I'm pink pilling the shit out of y'all during March, during Women's History Month. So you should
I'm
be
so
advised
excited.
that there is more coming on the feminist side of things. So I'm expecting to either scare off all the people who are assholes or really piss them off.
That it's time to
So yeah.
prune anyway. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen, Sarge, is you're going to see in about a week a meme with one black guy surrounded by white faces yelling, "Your proximity to whiteness."
You know what? I will shit post that meme all day long. I will,
Yes.
because I'm at a point now where I'm like, I'm so fucking tired of lowest common denominator getting in our fucking comments and being like, well, I'm a liberal and I'm down with the cause, but it hurts my feelings when you talk about men like we're all bad.
Not
It's
all
like,
men.
motherfucker, shut up. If it doesn't fucking apply to you, go fuck yourself somewhere and shut the fuck up, because if you know it doesn't apply to you, then you don't have to feel bad about it. But if you do feel bad about it, then maybe you dumb dense son of a bitch, ask yourself why the fuck that is. Same thing with fucking whatever, race relations, religious bullshit. I got some fucking people that get up in there and talking about mythical sky daddies, like, bitch, I'm a preacher's kid. Shut the fuck up, man. Jesus Christ. Not everybody who believes in God is a terrible fucking person. Holy shit. Fuck off with that nonsense, you dumbass. Same thing with fucking race relations, feminism.
Good people, but like I don't like the ones who aren't, and I talk about them.
Oh, I will absolutely. Yeah, I feel you on that. Like, anytime the subject comes up and I'm like, this has got to be worth several hundred comments and outraged, I will straight up bait a bitch. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Go jack off somewhere else, man. The reason why you're here talking about that stuff is because
in my bathroom.
Yeah, that's all. You're here to see yourself get. It's here to engorge yourself and play with it on the internet, so everybody else can watch. Go do it somewhere else.
Yep.
Nobody cares. Sorry.
So next week, for those people that are still tuned in before we lose momentum, next week we are going to have returning guest Ken Harbaugh of Valor Media Network and Midas Touch Network, and he is bringing with him Chris Goldsmith of Task Force Butler. Chris is an Army veteran who's running the Task Force Butler initiative. I'm presuming that has something to do with Smedley Butler, but I don't know. I'm going to ask him straight up because I don't want to look like an idiot. Actually, I should probably research things a little more thoroughly before I do the fucking thing.
I already did for you, Chief. It does.
There you go. Agent came to save the day.
All right.
I do want to say, if I'm allowed, that what we are seeing in our feminist groups, what we are seeing on these dating kind of women only talking shit sites is not good. These men are getting more aggressive, and I would encourage all the women, females, girls, whatever you prefer to be called out there, whatever. Go out armed. Do not leave the house without something, whether that be a keychain that you can use, whether that be pepper spray or bear spray, whatever's allowed in your area. Keep something on you at all times, and mine will dye you blue. So bring it.
Yes, I was gonna say, don't keychain. No, get yourself either.
This is
that
actually
that
something
nasty
that
ass blue shit that will fucking
I
paint
have
your
that.
face like a woad warrior.
Yeah.
This is
Get that?
actually something I have experience with. I used to have clients that I would teach how to do safe dating in the modern world. And it was like a little business that I had, and I could actually write something up for us to put on the Discord,
That would
so
be
that
amazing.
women could benefit from
You know what would
you
make
know,
it
step
better
by
is
step
if
people
you
for money.
make a video
Sorry?
about
Yeah. Also, we could put it on the Facebook page and Substack. Just
it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'll be happy to do it. Yeah, I mean, I used to get paid handsomely to teach people how to do this stuff, and I'd be happy to give it away for free.
I'll give you $3.99.
yeah, the same thing
I
I get.
want $3.50.
No, we got a T-shirt with your name on it, man. We got a T-shirt with your name on it. I'm just gonna piggyback off of that. This is what, Tuesday? Since
Some parts
Monday,
of the world.
Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. In 2 days, I've heard at least 3 different references to I have immunity now. All right. In
Really?
other words, yeah, these white folks, these men,
What?
From
Anything.
whatever I want to do.
Yeah,
to
they're
you.
being aggressive.
That's
that way.
right.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
Like,
they are. They are.
And it is
Your body,
it's
my choice,
gross.
that kind of shit from
Yeah,
women.
once they sent these bum ass.
Oh, we're back on that bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Once
yeah.
once
Big
they
Sarge
sent
need
these
to
bum
make
ass
another
homes-
video.
Yes, please, Lord.
Yes, he
Once-
does. Let's go.
Once they sent these bum ass home,
My body, your dirt
all of
nap,
them took
bitch.
that message.
I will tag team that with you, Charge.
I can do whatever I want, and nothing's going to happen to me. The president's got my back, just like they thought they wouldn't get fired by him. They believe it, and now they're emboldened by it. They've gotten out of their mother's basement. They finally found their mushroom-sized dick and put it inside some Speedos and went outside the house and are doing everything they can to raise the temperature in their pants by attacking folks, thinking that they will not get they will not have any consequences.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many of them believe it or how many of them are just trolling with it, but it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
Well, it's dangerous for them to do it because we are all going to be fucking armed. So how about that? It's going to be fucking dangerous for you because I've had it. That's the truth. I don't want to
2 thoughts on that. One,
they're saying the same thing about any person of color. They're saying the same thing about people, if they go after a trans person, that they're going to get
one of those 3 times was about color. Yeah.
What amuses me is that the other side, whether it be a bad guy or Republicans or both, think that we aren't armed. It's so cute, y'all. They think we are unarmed.
Oh yeah, no, they don't even know that the leftist gun clubs exist. It's fantastic.
You want to watch me get in trouble real fast?
Wait,
Yes.
hold on. Matt was going to
he's going to get canceled.
yeah, before he gets us canceled, 2 things
don't
there. One, the danger that Doug is talking about is very real because one of these guys, probably more than one, is going to go in somewhere with an assault rifle and just lay ham, thinking he's wiping out the liberals, and then expect to get pardoned by Trump. And whether or not that pardon comes, the fact that he expects it encourages them to go do it. Yeah. That's the danger, not the pardon itself. It's that they're thinking that. And then the other point I wanted to make was that we had a discussion in our admin chat this morning about this, about just how many people women are seeing, this right-wing conservative men that are targeting specifically people, women who are listed as liberal. Who said, look, I'm not interested in conservative guys, where the MAGA crowd are making it a goal to force themselves on those women. They are targeting liberal women for a variety of reasons.
It's sadistic. It's
sadistic.
It
is happening.
They want a sense of control over women, specifically women that they have been told to hate. And it's the quote unquote blue hairs, the feminazis, whatever they want to call them. They have been turned on to them, and they want to be able to control them and manipulate them. It's sadistic.
It's a fetish.
It must be hard having an innie.
Oh,
All right, and with that, Tim, I believe you're going to get us canceled. So,
Tim, we're waiting on you to get us canceled. Where's that promise?
All right, you remember how you were saying that these guys feel like they're invincible and that they can't be touched and they have immunity?
Oh boy! Oh dear!
We're doomed.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Henry Enrique in
Oh,
Cario Jr. Date of birth 9 February 1984. Social Security number 593787147. Address on record. One of them is 5730 Northwest 2nd Street. That's where a lot of his little businesses are registered. By the way, this guy's criminal record is fucking ridiculous. He has a number of petty theft misdemeanors. Dude's a fucking thief. He has some grand theft auto and some other felony theft charges. Allegedly owns War Boys LLC. He doesn't own Proud Boys anymore. That got taken away from him by the judge and was given to the black church that they were harassing. SPIE Security, also registered at 5730 Northwest 2nd Street. There are some other addresses as well. The guy has filed for bankruptcy a number of times. Just got out of prison because, January 6th insurrection. And fuck him.
If you
want to fuck around, bitch? Come on.
Holla back. If you're in
That's
this
right.
group, pen and paper is your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or rewind, whichever.
You should still be serving that 20-bit.
Well, the reason why I say
Take
that
me
is
down,
because
motherfucker.
you may not be able to rewind this in about 24 hours.
Oh, that's
Maybe
true.
not.
Pen and
Somebody
paper
could be
is
like,
your
he did it. I'm going to flag this.
pen and paper
Doug,
is your friend.
Doug, everybody knows. Doug, everybody knows the internet is forever.
Nah, that's very true. Very true. Very
So
true.
what I'm hearing is we need to turn that information into a song and then make a TikTok dance for
That's
it.
a great
We're
idea.
talking.
yeah.
We're talking
That's what the
memes.
kids
We're
were
talking
saying,
TikTok.
He lives at
But I don't think we have anybody who can sing. That's a problem.
I'm just saying, it can happen. You can all make this happen.
We
Thank
could
you.
like crowdsource.
These dancers like
Oh God!
Hell
That's me right
yeah.
now.
Doug.
And this is how we get canceled. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a
I
pleasure.
love you, man. I love this. I love you guys.
Doug's over there playing on a drum machine.
The Doc song.
What's it all
The
like?
dock song.
The Doc song.
So, yeah.
Sitting on the docks of the bay.
We really just need
No.
a commune of like Sons of Liberty people to all live close to each other. That's what we need.
Giving
Yeah,
them recaps, info. I don't
Some
know.
people
I'm trying.
boombox. Some people beatbox. We beat docs.
There you go.
Ducks, I like it.
There you go.
Hey, you know what? This is beautiful. The creativity is flowing now. Creativity is flowing now. I think we all just need to like get on Twitter and see what we can do.
You cannot
we've
pay me
escaped being
enough.
banned on
You're
Twitter
gonna have
because
to
we
double
stopped
my
posting.
salary. You're gonna have to double my salary, Doug, to get me
Yeah.
on Twitter.
Yeah,
I'll give you
I'm also staying off Twitter. I got off Twitter months ago.
I'll
Years
give
even.
you 2 shirts. I'll give you 2 shirts. 2 shirts.
T-shirts. I don't know. That's kind of hard to resist, there, man.
See what I'm saying?
But did you get a coaster?
Oh shit! All right, I'm in.
We're going.
We're going.
Oh, that reminds me. Some of y'all need to send me your address so I can send you the fucking coaster.
I did. I still don't
I
have
did.
it.
You did.
That's right.
You sent it to me and Elo sent it to me, but nobody else. Everybody else was
I'll
like,
send it to you,
"Fuck
Tim.
your shit, bitch."
Oh man. Hey, it's been fun, guys. I gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm about to take the kiddies to
I gotta
bed.
wash my hair, so I'll talk to y'all
Love you
later.
guys, man.
It was a dry shampoo day for me.
Gotta
Bye,
wash
guys.
my hair.
Bye, guys.
This a 10. Oh, we're definitely gonna get some.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so. You remember it was probably about a month ago. Somebody, I don't know how we got involved in it, but somebody tagged us and was like, "This person is making threats on Twitter, and we found them, and we want you to say something about it in one of your videos." And they had sex with a dog or something, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I started looking into it, and I got sucked into a rabbit hole because I used to be a criminal background investigator and sheriff's deputy. So I was like, all right, no, I got to look into this a little bit more just because my curiosity needed to be satisfied and I was bored. So I went down the rabbit hole, and like 13 hours later, I came up with like this video about this whole fucking saga because a bunch of people started harassing this poor innocent woman's like holistic medicine business. Whether you appreciate that or hate it or not, you can't go around like harassing innocent fucking people. So like I did a video on it, and I was basically like, all of this information is wrong, and the people that are asking you to talk about it, you're fucking stupid, and here's the real information on this person. Well, that person saw the video and filed a complaint and had our video taken down. So it wouldn't be the first time is what I'm saying. So fuck it. What are they going to do? Take us down again? Okay. I will survive.
I love it. This is a worthy cause. I think we all should we should endeavor to have at least one of those every time we get on here, because
at least one incident that's going to get us canceled.
No, at least one, at least one asshole to get doxxed who deserves it.
So
it could be like an asshole of the week or a dox of the week.
The asshole of the week.
Do it.
Yeah, you mean like that little shit, the one that calls himself Big Balls that actually is a child pornographer.
Man, that
guy.
Fucking guy.
No.
Oh, fucking kill me.
Or like
Big
the
Balls.
Guy, the guy I'm working on now is let me see let me just make sure I get the name right.
While you're checking that, I just wanted to say, since we're trying to get ourselves canceled off all these platforms, take an opportunity to go to the SOL Discord, because whenever we throw up a new account somewhere, that's where you're going to find out about it.
That's where you're going to find it.
Every time I pick us on Facebook or X.
That's
or
why you should be on our
whatever,
Discord, so that when we get taken down on other places, you can find us again.
Zach Rushing. People, Zach Rushing. Zach Rushing is a comedian who is a right-wing comedian who always goes over the line, but that's not a big deal until he said it's hunting season and had an entire video talking about shooting Mexicans because they were deputized by, he's in Mississippi, and Mississippi governor has basically deputized anybody to be a bounty hunter, and he had an entire video, non-funny and not facetious, about how him and his buddies are going to do this, and they can't wait to get the money from knocking off Mexicans. So I got you, Zach Rushing. I got you, Zach. And I'm working on it. We got a video coming on it, but we know that BBB Outdoors is your company, and you can expect to see some reviews. We know that. We also know the number 228-392-0076. I'm not saying where that's to. I'm just saying it. I got you, Zach. I got you. Let's go hunting. Let's go hunting. I like ducks.
I've had to have the discussion on our admin section of Discord about the whole doxing thing. So anticipate me having to eat some crow here when the staff of Liberty is like, respectfully, Big Sarge, stop that shit.
Not a good idea. Not a good idea.
Hey, Doug, I got something for you. When you were talking earlier, right? I wrote something down. We need to start maybe put out some shirts or something that say we are all DEI.
I like it
because we are all I want to know what part. I want to go I want people to start going up to these guys and going, what part of DEI is it that you disagree with? Is it the diversity? Is it the equity? Is it the inclusivist? Because the opposite of that is homogenous, inequality, and exclusion. And is that what you stand for? Because if so, just be clear about that shit.
Sounds about
Yeah.
like.
Did you see the video that I did about that the other day?
I like that.
I
man.
did not.
So I did a video about that. It was just a brief. I think it was like a 1 minute short, but essentially it led off with like I ended up singing "Jesus Loves the Little Children of the World." You remember that little song?
Yeah.
If you haven't watched the video, then it doesn't make sense. You're just like, oh, you stupid fuck. Well, go fucking watch the video, and then you can stop chuckling over there, fucking chuckles.
Sarge, you don't give us time off to watch videos. We work.
No time
We get
off.
time off? What the fuck is
You're
this
marching
shit?
on
You
Sarge.
don't get time off.
Last night I
overtime
spent like
in the month.
4 hours stuffing patches into envelopes so I can get these the last little box out of the house. And
somebody didn't have time to go to the gym and exercise because of the patches.
Yeah, I was supposed to be at the gym tonight, but I'm here instead. So
Oh, she's saying you're fat, Sarge.
Oh,
what did he say? What did he say?
I didn't say that.
Did he say you were fat? Is that what
in
he
the
said?
pants.
Oh. Nobody wants to hear that, darling. No.
Actually, there is a small segment of people that.
Well, then you should start
follow
with
that
Sons
up
of
with
Liberty.
small.
Oh, wait, you have an OnlyFans.
All right, I'm out of here, guys. Love you all of you, man. I'll see you later.
see you, Doug.
Sarge, I love her.
Yeah, you should keep the.
So I did like a quick little video about like everything about DEI I learned from the people that are trying to cancel it, and then I went through diversity and I sang, like I found relevant things pertaining to fundamental books that certain people like to talk about. And so, talking about diversity, Jesus loves the little children of the world, red and yellow, black and white, yada, 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 etc., etc. Nobody wants to hear me sing it now. You can go hear me singing the thing. And, relevant things that were pertinent to like, equity, inclusiveness, belongingness, etc., etc. So it's on the YouTubes. Go watch it.
Yeah, people should be watching the YouTubes instead of the Facebooks.
Actually, so you know how like they shadow ban us on TikTok, where like if they're not taking down the videos, we're only getting like 100 views, despite the fact that we have like almost 60,000 subscribers. I put that one up on TikTok, and somehow it got up to like 7,000 views overnight, and I was like, "Holy shit, what the fuck happened?" So I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, maybe just repost stuff over and over again.
I should do that, except I fucking hate TikTok at this point now. So like, I was all in for a little while, and I was like, 560,000 views. What the fuck?
Can I watch the TV?
Yes, dear.
Thank you.
Which means we shall now all watch the TV.
That's right. It's time for Netflix and chill. Sarge, go get it.
Hulu and do you? Amazon Prime and
Just, you should have stopped at Hulu. Man.
Honestly, really.
He'll be out here all night, folks. Tip your waitress.
Tubi and Booby.
No. All right. Okay. We're calling it. I'm tapping out. I got a reputation to maintain.
Yeah. Also, upcoming live streams. We also are working on scheduling Josh from The Enemy Within, and I'm trying to get comedian Steve Hofstetler.
Oh yeah,
that'd be pretty fucking awesome.
That man's the goat.
If we can, I can't make any promises, but yeah, if we can get that guy, that'd be pretty fucking awesome too.
Hey, he comes here to Charlotte often. I will hound his shadows if I need to. You just sick me on him. I love that man. He speaks what's in my head.
Just like Big Sarge.
All right, so kind of running out of steam here, so we may as well just go ahead and call. For the night.
And we're
Yeah.
losing our audio there too.
Yeah.
How's my audio dead? What? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think it's the background of the wife watching TV, and I think she's turning it up because she wants you to go watch TV.
Oh yeah, no, that's not me. Anyway, I was just saying that we should, we're running out of time, running out of steam, so we should just go ahead and call it.
Yeah. This has been fun. Thanks, Sarge, for inviting me.
Hell yeah. I'll have you on more often.
We'll have to lure you back.
All right. All right, I'm going to go ahead and kill the stream. 2 claps and a Rick.
Woo!
All right, thanks everybody for tuning in.
Go to the Discord server.